Well, interesting day in the news. It seems like I'm not seeing a lot of these like everyday regular person colleges getting involved in this stuff. But over the past couple of weeks, these Ivy League students, uber rich, spoiled woke brats, have been doing more and more insane things. Now, look, I don't care which side you quote unquote support. I have now firmly decided to remind people that I don't care about either side. I care about America. Okay. I care about our southern border. I care about our addiction problem. I care about the state of our VA. I care about homeless. That's who I care about. Okay. I no longer am going to I'm not even going to try to share any kind of opinion. But what I do think is here we're in America, right? So I'm going to commentate. A group of these are all, woke, expensive, Ivy League college kids that are now going completely insane and storming. You see this. Jewish students take refuge in library and lock themselves in while pro-Palestinian demonstrators pound on the door to gain entry at New York City's liberal Cooper's Union College. A group of Jewish students forced to flee a braying mob of pro-Palestine activists inside New York City College on Wednesday, locking themselves in a library while the crowd hammered on the door. Ugly scenes unfolded at Cooper Union, a liberal college near Astor Place in Manhattan on Wednesday afternoon. A crowd chanting "Free Palestine" was initially held in the lobby of the building, but they barged past a security guard who yelled hopelessly no. They then stormed up the stairs and hammered on the door of the library where Jewish students had taken refuge. Does this sound like a peaceful demonstration to you? I mean, I'm not seeing a lot of I'm seeing a lot of this unhinged behavior by one side in the United States. That's what I'm saying. Now, maybe there are examples of a bunch of Jewish people storming buildings and spray painting racist stuff on the sidewalk and all this stuff, but I haven't seen it. It must be the media being controlled. Maybe it's out there, but I haven't seen it come across my timeline. I mean, if you look, and of course, no arrests were made. I'm not sure, why are these students, what do these poor kids have to do with it? Outside the college on Wednesday evening, a passerby could be seen tearing away a pro-Palestine sign. Okay, well, there you go. Probably a Jewish person, maybe, I don't know. Which was next to the posters highlighting the plight of those. Oh, wait. Oh, no, yeah, so they were highlighting the plight of those who are kidnapped, but then they took down a sign. The sign said, "Ending children is justified." Look, they're allowed to have their posters too. They're allowed to have their gatherings. They're allowed to, do this kind of stuff. But NYPD officers could be seen entering the building. I mean, look at this. This security guard's he's on the phone with the police, you can see. This guy's just standing here. He's like, I'm not messing with these people. Oh, they're going to put out the velvet rope. Insurrection. And you know what's interesting is you see them in the library.
At about 4:45, we heard banging on the library doors. So a few of us stood up to go see what was happening. And it was actually that whole protest that had gone up to the 7th floor. They'd come down to the library, and the library doors were closed, keeping them out. Security did come over to us and said, "Oh, by the way, we had some warning that they were coming down and closed the doors to keep you guys safe so that they wouldn't be able to get in here."
Imagine that. Like, what are these kids don't have, none of these kids have any real skin in the game. But all these, again, just like with the BLM stuff, these two things are exactly the same people doing the same things, right? Here in the United States. University professors are the ones whipping up all these kids. UC Berkeley, it offers students extra credit for attending a pro-Palestinian walkout. These teachers are not indoctrinating kids, though. I mean, heck, if I was on the borderline, if I had a C plus and I could get to a B, or if I had a B plus and I could get to an A, I'd be walking out. I don't care, right? Like, that's the grade is what matters, and I'm sure there are lots of people like that. A teaching assistant at the University of California, Berkeley, offered her students extra credit for attending a pro-Palestinian walkout. Victoria Huna, who is an aide and lecturer of Harvey Dong's course entitled Asian American Communities and Race Relations, which doesn't even need to be a college course. I'm not sure how that helps you in the real world, gave the students an incentive in an email today, Tuesday. We are offering a field trip and or extra credit opportunity, she wrote in the email, which was posted on Twitter by a user who obtained the message. Students can watch a short documentary on Palestine. I'm sure that is totally even presentation. Call/email your local California representative using this link tree. The PhD student in ethnic studies wrote, doing so will either count as a field trip or an extra 5 points in the field trip category of your grade. She said the students must provide photo proof of their extra credit activities to earn the points. She concluded that stating that 2 of her class sections would spend time sometime during their next class talking about the Palestinian history in relation to class concepts like colonialism, imperialism, and third world solidarity. I mean, it's like extra credit for protesting anything is pathetic. Florida-based attorney Matt Sarelson wrote, extra credit for participating in, I'm not even going to say which side it is, right? Like, I think it's stupid. You see 2.3 million views, OMG. How is this publicly funded? I mean, that's the big thing, right? You see here too, Andy No post. This is the teacher right here. Victoria Hoon is a PhD ethnic studies student at UC Berkeley who has access to undergraduate students as a radicalizer and instructor. She is also, quote, a DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant. The grievance ideology of DEI, BLM, and Antifa, etc., is the same bloodlust beliefs of the Palestinian, quote, decolonization. She, the daughter of refugees from communism, but became radicalized to the far left through an elite American education system. She went to Brown University as an undergraduate. A lot of people, there are a lot of very interesting people in our education system. That's what I'll say. I think it's good to have like diverse professors and different people from different parts of the world. I think that's good to learn from. I was born in the Midwest. I had probably seen about 3 black people my entire life until I went to college, or met them, I should say. Or actually I'd seen even fewer like people from India or Asia or Japan. And when I went to college, I met all sorts of people like that. I mean, from all around the world. And I thought I think that's very good, I had professors that were from all over the world. Some of them with their accents so thick that I couldn't even understand half of the things they said. Taking accounting courses was always difficult when you couldn't understand what the heck they were saying. But I never had any weirdo professors, any like these weird Marxist, you don't see a lot of, conservative professors giving extra credit to go to Trump rallies. I don't think you see that in any way, shape, or form. And if you look at any one of these, all these college kids, by the way, again, most of these college kids have zero connection to what's actually going on, zero skin in the game, and only a very cursory kind of understanding of it, like me too. Okay. I'm not like, I'm not deeply invested in it. I've said my interests are in America, on American soil. My interest is not having, university professors giving extra credit for this kind of crap, especially when this is how the kids are going to act. I mean, especially when they're going to be banging on the door and have to get locked out as they see. Now, did these kids really fear for their life? I don't know. It was a group of about, a dozen people. You see all this kind of stuff in this article where these groups of, they're allowed to gather. They're allowed to chant. They're allowed to have their signs. None of that stuff bothers me. What bothers me is when you have professors who are egging it on and using them as useful idiots, which is exactly what they're doing. Last week, a climate scientist teaching at the School of Art Institute of Chicago issued a groveling apology after calling Israelis pigs and savages, an irredeemable excrement. A doctor who describes herself on social media as Chicago's radically optimistic trans climate scientist. These are the exact same people that were whipping up the BLM movement into making it worse, making it more volatile than it ever really needed to be. And now they're doing this. It's the exact same people. All these college professors, a Cornell history professor, calling what happened, exhilarating. I mean, they're allowed to say that stuff, but I'm allowed to point out that they're using these kids as useful idiots, and they're more than willing to participate.